Hi, this is a quick video on foam rolling the muscles of the lower limb. We're going to look at the muscles going from your glutes down to your feet. When I'm doing it, I'm just going to spend a small bit of time on each one, but when you're doing it yourself, you can spend a bit more time. So first off, we'll have a look at the foot. So for the sole of the foot, we're going to use a bowl. You can also use a cylinder, something like a deodorant can, that kind of thing. We'll place the ball on the floor, roll up and down. You can do it in a seated or standing position. This is a spiky ball. You can also use a tennis ball or a golf ball. Sometimes a golf ball can be a bit severe, so just watch out for that. Most of the tightness will be on the inside of the foot, in around the arch. This muscle works quite hard for us and sometimes gets overlooked. So spend a bit of time on that, and that will decrease a lot of tension in the foot. Next up is the calves. If you haven't rolled the calves before and this is your first time doing it, maybe do the 2 feet at once, so up and down. Split the calves into two, roll the bottom half first before moving up to the next part. If you want to progress it, you get 1 foot off and just do 1 foot at a time. And then lastly, you cross the other leg over, and this will get the most kind of weight on the leg. So rotating over and back, and this will get into the soleus portion of the calf muscles. It's 2 muscles in total. Moving up, we get the other muscle, which is the bigger, bulkier muscle. And on the inside, you find it's the inside that's the most tight. So this is the medial head of the gastrocnemius. Rolling up and down, find a tight spot, rest in it for maybe 10-20 seconds before rolling over and doing the other side. Moving on up to the hamstrings, there's 3 muscles in the hamstring muscle group. So 2 are kind of more middle to the inside. So we roll them first, up and down. As you can see, I have this leg, the roller is not going underneath it, so just gentle pressure going through the heel as you balance. Up and down. You can also lift this leg off, but be careful that you don't kind of start tensing up and getting tension into the leg. The more tension you hold in the leg, the tougher it is to get into the muscle as it's kind of switched on, and you want to relax as much as you can anytime you're doing the rolling. Over and back, moving on to the muscle that's more in the middle to outside portion. Up and down like so. If you find a tight spot, just rest in it, put good weight, hold it, relax as much as you can. You can drop the heel down onto the ground or lift it up to see which you feel gets into it more for you. If that's not getting into it deep enough, you can also use a ball, something like a slitter, and just find a tight spot and put downward pressure on it. No need to roll around too much, sometimes that can be a bit too much. Find a tight spot, again hold it for maybe 20-30 seconds until it relaxes. So next up is the adductor muscle group. You may have rolled some of these muscles when you were rolling the hamstring, when you rolled yourself to kind of get the inner part of the hamstring muscle group. When we're doing this one, position is a bit like you're humping the ground. So you place the roller like so, cross your leg over, get the inner thigh in contact with the mat, roll over. Most of this aspect of the leg is on the ground. The more you lift off, the tougher it is. So the more you lift, let's say this side off the ground, the tougher it is. Maybe roll just half at a time, or a few inches at a time, and maybe take a small break, adjust the roller, move it down, and then do another portion. Moving up the chain to the glutes. Now you can roll, starting off maybe the 2 glutes at once if you haven't done it before, but you won't get into too deeply doing this. You need to kind of shift your weight to one side. So we're doing my right side at the moment. Up and down, kind of get into the glute max muscle, which is the big kind of meatier muscle of all of them. Up and down, and just loosen that out. Next up is the piriformis muscle. So this muscle kind of goes from the top of the crack of your arse, basically into that kind of bone inside your hip. Small kind of ropey muscle, but it can get quite tight. I hold a lot of tension. When you find a tight spot, rest in it. Again, hold it for maybe 20-30 seconds. If it feels a bit nervy or kind of feels a bit tingly, just get off that point. Sciatic nerve is around that region, travels through it, and can be a bit sore if you're resting for too long. So just move on if that's the case. If not, it's just a muscular tightness. You can hold on to it. Moving, just kind of shifting our weight down to our side. So moving on to kind of the crest on the side of the hip, just underneath it. We've got a couple of muscles, and mainly glute medius. So once we find that tight spot, you can kind of rock it over and back and relax as much as you can. So maybe let this leg drop down onto the floor, and you can gently roll up and down. Usually I'd use a ball to kind of get in here, or one of the tougher rollers. This blue roller is a bit too much giving it for this particular muscle. So one of the tougher rollers can be better. As I said, you can use a ball or something like that roller there. It's quite good. But just putting the ball underneath the crest of the hip, finding that tight spot, and the more you kind of drop your elbow onto the ground, the tougher it is. The more you lift it up, it'll take pressure off and find a pressure that's comfortable for you. So this can be quite a tough muscle to get into. When we're in this area, we're going to move we've got the glute med there, and just move more to the front of the hip, which is kind of the muscle coming off this bony point on the front of the crest, going down the hip a couple of inches, is the TFL muscle, and that kind of forms into your IT band, which you might have heard a bit about, and roll it up and down like so, and you can kind of rock over and back in it. So this can be, it's a small muscle, but it can hold an awful lot of tightness and be quite a troublemaker. So again, you might want to use something like one of the harder rollers. This is kind of a trigger point roller, a bit too expensive for what it is, but maybe one of the harder rollers will do the job, and just hold it on that tight spot. Again, hold it for maybe 10, 20, 30 seconds until it relaxes, but just find a level of discomfort that's comfortable for you. Next up, we'll work the front of the thigh. There's 4 muscles in the quadriceps. So obviously onto the front. Starting off, if you haven't done it before, you'll do 2 muscles at once. So do the 2 legs up and down, just get used to it. Of all the muscles, this is probably the most one you get a lot of pressure into. So it'll be quite uncomfortable starting off. But once you get good at it, you want to be able to roll over onto one leg and up and down. So the more you do it, the easier it gets. So if you find it uncomfortable at the start, don't worry, just keep tipping away, and you slowly chip away at it, and it'll become a lot easier. Once you get pretty happy with it, you can get one leg off the ground like so, up and down. You can also rest that foot. That'll obviously take a little bit of pressure off, but eventually you get it up. And the quads, let's say, are going from the outside of the thigh into around this region. So a lot of people complain of ITB or IT band tightness, and it's usually just the quad muscle, the lateral quad muscle lying underneath it that's tight, so it's just more quad than ITB. And just rest in tight spots and relax and move around and get the full aspect of the muscle. So moving on to the last couple of muscles. First off, we're going to look at tibialis anterior. This is a muscle on the front of the shin. When it contracts, it pulls the foot up like so, so it works quite hard throughout the day. We're going to get the roller, place it down, we're going to knee it up in it, and down like this. So start off, just to get your bearings, you can roll it like so. But you kind of want to lean to one side to get the most out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross this leg over and leave it on the back of the other leg and lean to one side, up and down. You find a tight spot, rest in it, and roll it out. And finally, we're going to look at a muscle that's going down, strip a muscle down the outside of the leg. It runs from this bony point here. If you feel your leg there, it runs down, goes underneath the ankle, connects into this bone here, and the rest goes in around there. When we're rolling here. We're not going to get up onto the bony point because, let's say, a nerve travels around that bone and it can be quite uncomfortable. So it's a small muscle, and not much meat in it, let's say, so you're just not going to go too far up above this region. Okay, so leave the roller down, roll onto your side, like so, and up and down. If balance is an issue, you can cross this leg over and less pressure will be applied, but eventually I'm going to cross that leg over and up and down like so, and that's how you roll that muscle. So that's all the muscles of the lower limb. Be sure to relax as much as you can when rolling. The more you relax, the more you get out of it. The less tension you have, the easier it is to get into the muscle. Spend a bit more time than I did on each muscle to get into it properly. And finally, if you're new to rolling, maybe start off with a roller like this as opposed to one of the hollow ones. The hollow ones can be quite tough and a bit unforgiving, so these are a good starter one. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching.